All right. Here, if you want to know how to put together a annual marketing plan, um, a schedule, and a budget for a real estate agent, then you're in the right place. Let's chat. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone with Mastermind Agent and 2 referrals per month. And what we're going to do here is we're going to jump in and do a workshop where we talk about how to put together a marketing plan, not the business plan, but this is one level deeper, the marketing plan for a real estate agent who wants to increase their repeat and referrals. And basically what the background of this is, I went out over the last decade and I've been talking to the top agents in the nation, and I've seen all these similarities of what they're doing in their plans. And I've tried to pull together all the common concepts and then make a plan that's very simple to implement. So not only does it have all the elements that all these top agents are doing, but it is easy to put into place. And in particular, we have as much automation as possible. So it's running in the background whenever possible, or at least semi-automation and templated whenever possible as well. So you have very little time involvement on a monthly basis, but you're getting some great rewards or results back. That's the big picture and the goal of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going through that plan. If you want to see samples, that's cool, because we're going to show you some sample marketing as well as we're going through there, so you have a good idea of what it is. For everybody that's been joining us now, go ahead and make sure you have a copy of the plan. In order to get that, if you don't have it already, just go over into the chat. I've gone ahead and put that in. It's going to go all the way to the top of the chat. It's probably where you're going to find it. There's a link. And if you click on that link, you can download a copy of this plan that we're going to be going through. Also, if you're watching this after the fact, if we're lucky enough to have the recording work and we post it out there, if it's say on YouTube, then go ahead and look down in the show notes. We'll put a link down there so you can also download the plan and go through with this. All right, this is a workshop. And so again, I love participation. If you've got questions, comments, issues as we're going through, do not hesitate to stop me and just unmute yourself and say, hey, Mike, I have a question about this. And I really do like that. And it helps everybody else, because if you have the question, probably somebody else has the question too. After you've spoken, though, please mute yourself again, because otherwise we sometimes get some feedback, and it's not so bad when we're here together, but on the recording, it comes out pretty bad when we have feedback in the background. All right, so I'm going to go ahead then and jump into the actual plan itself. Let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen.
All right. Mike, can I ask you a question?
Oh, yes. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm looking in the chat for the plan. On my end, I don't.
Okay, do me a favor. That's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. So can anyone else, does anyone else not see the chat? You're going to have to go all the way to the top of the chat bar. So there's a little scroller on the right. And if you go all the way to the top and then down slightly, you'll see it says handout in blue. Is there, did you find that? I'm not sure who I was just talking to.
I'm still looking.
Yeah, so it'll be all the way over to the right. Also, by the way, it'll be in the email we sent out to you at the top for the last 2 emails. But it should be over here on the right. Does anybody else see that in chat? Yeah, okay, cool.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so hopefully you'll see that, and it's all, again, all the way to the top. Let's see, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Tracy, oh, there's Tracy. Hey, Tracy. That was early on. My ad chat, so I'm just checking it real quick. And Mark says he doesn't see it. Mark, did you find it? It's also in the email. All right, so hopefully
Angela just posted it up there at 6:06. So
Angela saved the day again. Good job, Angela. Thank you. All right, cool. So now everybody's good, so we can move into the plan. All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead then and share the screen. And again, thank you for asking. Good job. And everybody should, I'm going to try to get this out of the way so it doesn't mess up the recordings. Hold on just a second. There we go. And over there. All right, everybody see the screen now? All right, cool. Cool. So we're going to do this. We're going to go in and boop, boop, boop. There we go. We got the annual marketing plan, schedule, and budget for a real estate agent. And we're going to go through just a couple quick things, then we're going to get into the plan itself, the notes that you have. Oh, by the way, I'm Mike Cerrone, if you didn't know that yet, and I'll be your guide today to help you walk through this. All right, so again, mentioned already, but you should have be able to get the handout that we're going through, that sample of the annual marketing plan, schedule, and budget. It's either inside the chat or under this video if it's a replay. You can use this item, you can modify it or model it, make it your own. You could take it and throw it away. That's fine with me too. Just make sure you have some kind of plan for the new year, the upcoming year. And by the way, if you're listening to this in the middle of the year, no problem. Just whip it out, start using it. Don't freak out if it's already March or if it's September or whatever month it is. Just go ahead and get started wherever you are. You don't have to wait to January to get going. Again, print it, mark on it, or if you're really good and you can do it on the screen, that's awesome too. Here's the purpose of the plan. So this marketing plan is for a repeat or referral agent who wants to increase their referral closings to add 2 referral closings per month to their current production from their friends, family, and past clients. These are people that already know, like, and trust you. That's the goal or the objective with this plan. There was a NAR study done a while back, and I really liked it because it really addressed something that we need to all think about. And that is, in this study, NAR went out and they interviewed home buyers and sellers, people who had recently purchased or sold a home. And what they found out was that 84% of those folks were satisfied with their agent and would hire that agent again. I'm going to repeat that. 84% of the people would hire the same agent again. That's pretty good. As an industry, we are really doing a great job out in the field, in the trenches, in the actual work of helping people buy and sell homes. Now, NAR did a follow-up on that study. 1 year later, they went back out to that exact same group of people and they said, hey, we noticed that you said that you really liked your real estate agent, you'd use them again. By the way, what's the name of that real estate agent? What is the name of the agent that helped you 1 year ago? What percentage of the people could name their agent? 11%. That's the sad fact. 11% could remember the name of their agent 1 year later. Okay, and it's not their fault, right? They get busy in life takes over, they're doing other things, and the past just fades away. It's our job to stay in touch with them because they would hire us again, but the problem is they can't remember our name. So now when their friend at work or their friend out at their hobby says, hey, I'm thinking about moving, and they're like, who'd you use? Who'd you recommend? They're like, I can't remember. Just pick somebody. Yeah, they're not able to give us as the referral because they can't remember our name. All right, so in this campaign, there's 2 parts. The first part is relevance. We need to be relevant to the person. They have to remember us if they're our past client, right? So we have to stay top of mind. We have to make sure that they remember our name when their friend, family, or they themselves decide to move again. The second part of this is positioning, okay? Because there's a certain group of people on your list that they're friends and family, but they haven't used you yet. So for those folks, you're positioning yourself. And what you're trying to do there is position yourself as the real estate alternative or option. So everybody has a list in their brain of the top 3 whatever they're thinking about. So top 3 soda pops, top 3 cars, top 3, you pick any category, there's a top 3. In this case, we're talking about real estate agents in their head. You want to be in the top 3, and preferably you want to be number 1. So this campaign is going to help do that by the frequency that you're out to them. It's going to make sure that you stay relevant, and then positioning with the quality of what you're offering, it's going to push you up towards the top. Okay, so those are the 2 things that we're doing. And ultimately, you'll see you always want to have your face and your name with some kind of real estate on all the marketing. So that is connecting those 2 dots in their brain. Okay, so when they hear the word real estate, they think of you. When they hear the word real estate, they see your face, right? Those are the connections that we want to put into their brain. Simple done wins. So what's the worth of a complicated marketing plan? It's 100% effective, but it's so difficult to implement that nobody ever executes it. 0. It's not worth anything. All right, what is the worth of a simple marketing plan, though, that's 25% effective? And it's so easy to implement that everybody does it. Well, it's worth a lot. It's priceless, right? It may not be as effective, but it's priceless because you're actually doing it. And so we're trying to combine those in what we're doing today. So our plan has 4 different levels, 4 levels of involvement and effectiveness. On the first level, we're going to have, it's the part that's only, say, 25% effective as the top level, level 4, but it's so simple to implement that it can perform automatically without the agent, okay? And then the levels are going to increase your time involvement, your time requirement and effort thereafter, but also, by the way, lockstep with that is also the results that you're going to get. So it's worth it to work up the ladder and go up to the highest level that you can get to. All right, the other thing that is important when you're working on marketing is the concept of mediums and multiple mediums. So mediums is a method of contacting a person. It's how you're getting to their brain, you know, contacting or communicating with them. An example one is email, another would be social media, another would be direct mail, another would be phone call, another could be a text message, another could be face-to-face. There's all these different ways to start a conversation or a communication with a person, and you want to do as many of those mediums as possible. The best marketing plans use multiple mediums. Why? Because the prospect will end up saying something like, I see you everywhere, right? Because you're coming at them from different directions. And not everyone uses the same medium. So if you're using a single medium, not everybody, let's say, checks their email if you're doing just email. Also, you're able to do more contacts because you're not overusing one medium. So you're actually able to touch people multiple times, more often and more frequently if you're going through multiple mediums than the same one. If they see you constantly hitting them on social media and that's all you do, or constantly in email and that's all you do, then it becomes a little bit of an annoyance, right? And here's the other problem is someone stops one of the mediums. If you're just doing one medium, you could then completely stop your communication with them. So if you're only going through email and say they unsubscribe or you somehow end up in their spam filter, they don't hear from you anymore, right? If you're on social media and they unfriend you either intentionally or unintentionally, then that's it. You're not communicating with them anymore. So if you've got to come through these multiple mediums, so if the first two had happened, for instance, but you're also still sending out a piece of mail or making a phone call or a text, now at least one of those is going to reach through. But if you only have the one medium, you take a lot of risk. Hope that made sense. All right, we're almost to where we're going to get into the plan itself, but I need you to know where the plan's coming from. The origin of the plan is from RAMS. That's the Referral Agent Mastery System. If you want to learn more about that and how we kind of put that together, that's at mastermindagentacademy.com. Specifically, the plan has been modified for agents inside of our group at eXp Realty. This is not a promotion of that, other than to let you know where the plan is coming from. And a lot of the folks in there are here, and so they'll be able to see what's going on. And that's what it means by RAMS at eXp. If you see that, that's what it's referring to. If you're elsewhere, which I assume a lot of you are, that's great. You can take this plan and you can modify it for your practice, your team, your group, or your company. All right, terms to know. So PCSOI. I'll refer to that quite often. For people who have been around me a while already know, but this is past clients and sphere of influence. I just like to have one term where I can combine it all together. And this is where we're going to get the source of our repeat and referrals. We also have a term that I like to use to diagnose somebody's business, their referral business, called RPP. That's the referral productivity percentage. And that's the number of annual referral closings divided by the number of people in your PCSOI list. Okay, so if you just went out over any 12-month period and you said, all right, this is how many referral closings I had, and then you divide by the total number of people in your list, you'll get a percentage. Here's an example. If you had 16 referral closings last year and you had a 200-person list, well, that's going to give you 16 divided by 200 or 8%. You're then 8% RPP. And then the question is that good or that bad? Where am I at? And so we got to give some a range for that, or perspective. 5% RPP is a common number I hear when I'm talking to people who are just getting into the repeat and referral world. They have some kind of basic plan. Sometimes they don't. They don't have any formal plan. They've got some kind of marketing that they're doing. Typically, though, they're lacking consistency. They're not getting their message out consistently enough. The marketing needs a little bit of work, but at least they're trying to do something, and you're typically getting around 5%. So if they have a list of 100 people, they're getting about 5 closings a year out of their list. The next level up of people I talk to they gravitate towards about 10%. And this is for an agent who has a pretty good plan in place. They've got some decent marketing, and they're being consistent to get that message out to their people. They're typically hitting around 10% of their list, repeating and referring each year. So again, if they have a list of 100 people, they're getting about 10 closings out of their list. And then we've got the top of the range, which is around 20% RPP. These are the top referral agents. They have a strong plan. They got pro marketing. They've got consistency, and they got a lot of focus that they're getting in on this plan. This is what they do, and it's typically resulting in the majority of their business as well. So a top solo agent, as an example, will probably have 70, 80, even 90% of their business coming from past clients. They're getting 20% of their list to repeat or refer, and it's really adding up. We're talking about where they're getting 20, 40, 50, 60, 70 closings a year coming out of one of their database of past clients and sphere of influence. A very small list can be very productive when you get very hyper focused on it. Okay. Now let's get into the annual marketing plan. And again, as we're going through any of this material, the best thing if you have a question is just to unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, as you can tell, I'm just going to roll right through. We got a lot of material we're trying to hit. So again, this is going to be in your handout, and it's coming from Rams and EXP, but you can modify this for yourself. This is the annual marketing plan schedule and budget for a real estate agent. And here's the big question. I've alluded to this already, but this really is the crux of it. And it's, what level do you want to play at? What level do you want to play at? There's really 4 levels in the way I see what I see out there in the world of referral marketing. Level 1 is email. And that's just doing everything through email and we'll go through, by the way, what this means in detail in a minute, but you're getting the message out through this one medium of email. And the beauty of email is you can automate quite a bit of it. And that's why people like it. You still need to make sure, though, you're sending a good, consistent message, you have a quality piece, and you're doing a good frequency. But this is the medium people are going through. And when you do this right, you should be able to hit about 5% RPP. The next is a social media post. So, and by the way, this is layering. So you've got level 1 where you've got email, and then you're going to add social media. If you do that, you're going to be able to get a bump, and you should be able to get up to about another 2 points, or get up to about 7% RPP. By the way, these numbers are not firm. You might be a little bit higher or lower than any of these numbers, but it gives you kind of the ballpark of what you want to look at. And then you got mail. Again, if you add mail to what you're doing, if you're doing email, now you go up to the next level and you add social media. Now you go up to the next level and you add mail, you can get up to a 10% RPP. Okay, hopefully that's making sense. And then if you add the last element, which is level 4, this is where the top players are playing at. They're adding phone calls quarterly to their people or events, because not everybody likes to make a phone call out. In fact, one of the top referral agents I know does about 80 referral closings a year. 80 referral closings a year. She's a solo agent. She doesn't make any calls out. That's Monica Angeles. But she does do all the marketing. It's just that most of it creates inbound calls, and then she, of course, talks to people on the phone. The way she's doing it is she does it through the second part, which is events. The reason you might see a lot of top agents doing events is it gives a reason for you to reach out to your people that doesn't seem cumbersome, right? It's hard to make that phone call quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter and constantly just saying, do you have anybody that I can help buy or sell a home? If you want to buy or sell a home, that gets a little old after a while. There are people that do really, really good at it. But if you're having challenges with that, then that's why a lot of people, including the top agents, will go to events. Well, if you do events, that can bump you up to 20% of repeat and referral. If you're doing all of these things, the email, the social media posts, the mail, and the events. I'll throw in one other thing. Some people say, all right, Mike, I can't, I'm not doing social media. I have no social media presence. Can I still do this plan? Yep, absolutely. You can modify this plan to fit anybody or any situation. So if you're not doing social media as an example, you can still do the other three and you're still going to get great results. All right, so hopefully that answered the question. The big one is, what level do you want to play at? And you see the 4 levels now, and what kind of results you could reach from doing that. By the way, that top level of 4%, I just mentioned Monica, she actually hits 24% repeat and referral, a referral productivity percentage. I actually know one guy who hits 34%. You're like, oh, maybe it's really small numbers. He actually had 100 closings in 1 year off of a list of 300 people. But he's an anomaly, pretty strange. Can learn a lot from him, but it's very unusual. He's the only person I know that high. Most people are more, I know a lot of top solos that are around the 20% of their list is hitting, resulting in a referral or a repeat closing. Okay, let's keep rolling. And again, I'm just going to keep rolling unless I hear anybody stop me. All right, so next we've got email. We're going to go now into some of the details. We got level 1, and there's a lot going on here because it's kind of cool and you can automate so much. So again, this is up to 5% RPP. The first thing you should do is you should gather birthdays and home anniversaries, right? That may not be easy to think about at first, but hopefully after your closing or during the closing process, you can gather the birthday by either asking your client directly or getting that from one of the vendors, such as the lender or the title company. And you may even be able to go back to them after the fact and pick up that, maybe not their year, but at least the day and the month. Although now with the credit issues, it may be a little harder, but you should try, because it's a great thing to reach out to someone, because who reaches out to you on your birthday? Your friends and your family, right? Close people to you. That's why it's such a great little touch. Well, you put it in the system, it'll do it automatically for you. Pretty cool. Home anniversary is easy. You just go back and look in your files and see what day you closed on if you helped them, say, purchase a home. Now you put that date in your program. We use a CRM that does this automatically for us. Ours is, by the way, KV Core. You may use it or some others, but whatever, if you have a CRM and you put that data in there, it can usually help you set up these kind of programs. All right, so that's a great one to start with. Next is a monthly market report. You're going to need to set this up. By the way, all these little things I'm about to show you, you set up once and then they go forever until you stop them. Monthly market report is another one of them. What it is a report on the area that either your homeowner or your renter is. They're going to be one or the other. And so you're going to set it up so it goes out to them once a month, and then you can do a little market report on either the city, the zip code, or the subdivision. Try to get as narrow as you can and make it work. Okay, the more specific it is to them, the more valuable the information. If they're seeing properties that are their neighbors, now they're very interested in that, as opposed to the property of a home that's a half a mile or a mile away. They still will be interested, but not as much as if it's in their neighborhood. So just remember, when you're setting up those market reports, make it as narrow as possible. Next is the new listing notification. This is one people miss, and it's so cool and easy to set up. You go into your program and you set up a new listing notification. So for a homeowner, and in our program, they call that a seller because it's a potential future seller versus potential future buyer, but they just call it a seller, just so you know, if you're in the program. But it's a homeowner, somebody who owns a home. You're going to do a 1-block radius search. And what happens there is you're going to have a constant new listed notification happening, so that, hey, let me give you the scenario that helps better. Let's say your homeowner is driving home from work one day and they're cruising down the street and they see oh, hello. Uh-oh. Hey, if you could mute yourself, that'd be great.
I do have a question, Mike, before you
sure,
go on.
Go ahead. Whoops. Yep.
You mentioned automatizing or automating these campaigns. How do you automate your market report send outs?
You betcha. All right, cool. So It really depends on your CRM. For us, we've got this in our CRM called KB Core, where all we have to do is go in and put the person's name in and their contact information. They're a contact. We just go and click a button. Okay, we just click a button, we open it up, and inside that button, it just says, what area do you want? And it's going to say, and that you just start typing in either a city, a zip code, or a subdivision, and it auto-populates and gives you some options, and you pick one, and then it goes automatically. If you don't have that, first of all, look in your CRM. If your CRM has that, I don't know what CRM you're using, but if you don't have it in your, first of all, research your CRM. Sorry, I'm talking so fast. I'm excited. I'm trying to get through it all. If you have it in your CRM, that's the easiest. It's all centralized. But if you don't, you can go into your MLS and you can design a different kind of research, like the one I'm going into next, which is the new listing notification. You can do that either in your CRM or in your MLS. And I can't tell who that was, but that's the answer. Did that help?
Yes. In fact, I'm just coming on the KB Core now myself.
Oh, Sonny. Hey, hi, Sonny. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so inside KB Core, if you go into, I'm not doing a demonstration tonight, but if you go into the program itself and you pull up the contact over on the right side, if you're on a computer screen, over on the right side, down on the bottom, you'll be able to find that market report. Yeah, you click it open to add one. You just basically pick an area for them to receive it. Boom, it's going out every month to them. And by the way, I think that's the other thing you pick. You pick the time frame. They'll do 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, and 30 days. I recommend you go to 30 days unless it's an active person you're working with to buy or sell. Don't bombard them with something once a week. Just go out 30 days. Okay. This thing here, though, this new listing notification, let's go through that. This is really cool. If you've got your person, they're driving home, they're cruising down their street, and they notice a for sale sign up on the side of their street, like their neighbor's house just went up for sale. And in their head, they're like, whoa, what's going on there? And the next thing they say is, wonder what they're selling for. All right, imagine this. They drive in, they get home, and they look either on their computer or on their phone, and they get a notification from you that says, hey, there's a new listing in your area, and here it is. Here's the information. Here's the address. Here's the price. Here, maybe have some pictures if they've got them up yet. Here's the details. You don't think someone's going to dig into that? They're not going to be like, wow, how did Sonny read my mind and send me out this notification about my home? Cool. You can do that inside of our CRM KB Core, but you can also do it inside your MLS as another option. That's what that is. Next, you can also do it for renters. And by the way, in that notification on homeowners, you want it to set it up so it's instant. They get the notification immediately because that's when they want it. There's not going to be that many. You're only doing a very small 1 block radius. There's only going to be a couple homes per year that pop up. So you give them that information quickly. The next one, though, is a little different. This is for a renter. If you've got somebody renting in your list, you're going to do a larger search, same thing, but larger. It's going to be in a zip code, but you're going to then cap it in some kind of price range that you determine as a kind of the first time buyer price range. And you're only going to send the report monthly. You're only going to send this notification monthly. So it's going to accumulate all of the properties or send out what's happening at that time as a summary to them, say, hey, here's a bunch of properties that you might be interested in. Okay, these are really cool, and you set them up and they're automated, and then they just go by themselves until you turn them off. Pretty neat. Again, everything on the list so far can be automated. You set it once and you forget it. I'll show you some picture samples in just a second, by the way. But this, you can do that. Once you set this up, your time involvement moving forward is 0. Pretty cool. That's why anyone and everybody on this call should at least do these first couple. You should get your list together, and you should go ahead and get these first couple of notifications by email. Here's an example of the happy birthday. So on the left, we have a happy birthday email that goes out. And on the right is the happy birthday text message that goes out to them. And it'll pick one or the other depending on what you've put into the system for their contact info. And then next is the home anniversary. There's a home anniversary email that goes out to them on that anniversary, as well as a text. And again, it'll pick one or the other. It won't send both based on the criteria of what you have in there for the person. Pretty cool. This is the market update. If you're wondering what that report looks like, the market report, again, this is for KV Core and from our company XP, but you're going to have something similar in your CRM. I hope and assume. But here's the email that goes out, and it has some nice little data on it, gives them a couple of little stats. And then you'll notice there's a button there that says, hey, view the report. In this case, we did for their zip code. And then over on the right, that's just a continuation of the email. They're going to also have some properties that were popping up in their area as well, just as some teasers. And it says, hey, if you want to search for more listings, click here. When they click that first button, it's going to come down to this, which is their report. This is the market report itself. It's on the website. It's the backside of the CRM. It says, hey, Larry, here's how the market's trending. And it gives them all kinds of cool stats. It gives them some trend lines. It gives them all kinds of data. And there's all kinds of buttons, by the way, at the top they can pick and research even more. What I really like is down here in the bottom right, it says, hey, own a home, add your home address. And so that's going to pop up if they haven't received one of the things we're going to talk about in a minute, which is a home valuation report. If they click in there and they put their address, boom, they're going to automatically get a home valuation report each month as well. That's an awesome way to stay in touch with a seller, which we're going to talk about in a second. But this is on the market report, just the generic market report. Let's see, this is the new listing notification. This is one that would go out to the homeowner who's sitting in their prop. This one actually is a live one. It came out a couple of years ago, I think, and I just made a clip of it. This was when the market was super hot, where agents were putting homes on the market before they even had pictures because they were getting snapped up so fast. And so that's why it says photo coming soon. Most agents would actually take a little bit of time and get a nice photo there. And the homeowner would actually see a photo of their neighbor's house to help them. But this still has the information of the price and the address and some of the amenities. And if they click the button and they go in and search, it's going to show them online on the web page all the information about that property that they're curious about. Cool thing about all this, if they click any of these buttons through this CRM, you're going to get notified. You're going to get notified that they are interested and they clicked on a button. And in the background, they have kind of a low-end AI that's going to send out some messages to them saying, hey, I noticed you came online, you were looking at this property. Are you interested in doing something? If so, let me know. The other thing I want to point out is this. Notice that my face, I did this for myself. My face, my name, my contact information is right there. That's the bottom of the email. Let's see if I lost control there. There we go. So there it is right there. You'll notice my face is on the bottom for contact information. I didn't show it, but when they come to this page, there's a pop-up at the beginning that gives your name and information, says, hey, you want to chat with me, in this case, Mike. Up here, you notice my face is there. You notice that my contact information is there. Same thing with these emails. Contact information is there, and you can't see it, but the face is down below. The text doesn't have that, but it's coming from you and your phone number. So anyway, that's the first part. Any questions on that? All right. Everybody should be able to get that base level of marketing done. It's automated. Once you get it set up, the whole thing runs by itself in the background. Now we're going to go into some optional items that you can consider to kind of step this up a level. And the first thing is a monthly home valuation. It's an alternative to the market report for your homeowners. So if you're going to do this, do not do the market report to the homeowners, just do this, the home valuations. If you got a couple different ways to do it, if you're using KV Core or your CRM, you can manually send it to them once a month. You click on a button to manually send it to them. I'll explain more in a minute. If you use another program we have here in Metro Denver and through our MLS called eProperty Watch or HomeBot, I mention that because you might have something like this in your MLS. You can set this thing up as well, and it's a manual send. And once they accept it, so once they receive the email, click on the link and accept receiving it, then it goes out automatically to them monthly moving forward, which is really cool. But prior to them accepting it, you do have to manually send it out because they haven't accepted those emails yet. I don't know why they do it that way for this one and different for the market report, but they do, and that's the way it goes. This is another cool little highlight we're about to give, which is in this plan, you're only going to work a couple of hours, 1 day a week, and that's the first Wednesday of every month. So in our plan, you work 1 to 3 hours in the morning on the first Wednesday of every week, every month. We call that marketing day, and you're getting this information out to your people. Okay, and this is only going to take a few minutes, but I want you to know why it's saying the first Wednesday. We're going to get to that when we get to schedule, but that's why that's there. This one, again, is semi-automated, right? Because you're going to have to go in, you're going to have to click a button, which goes, it's hard the first time, you're going to take a second to set it up. And then after that, you just click a button saying, hey, send this back out to them because they haven't accepted yet. And you do that on the first Wednesday of every month until they accept. And then once they accept, it just goes on to them automatically because they confirmed. And this whole thing right here, the home valuation one's probably going to take a little bit less than an hour per month. Depends on how many people you have in your list. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to have over on the left is the email. And you'll notice over there, it says review now. You know, it tells them, hey, there's a marketplace update on your property, and there's a button of review now. If they click that button, it opens up to what you see on the right, or excuse me, in the middle. And in the middle is the report they see online. It's telling them a valuation of their property, an estimate. It's giving them a range of value. It's giving them some other properties in the area that they can look at and scroll through. It's giving them a map. The neat thing that I like is down on the bottom, the very bottom, it says, the very bottom right says request analysis. And if you read that, what it's basically saying is, hey, this is a range of value. If you want a specific number, click here. Well, if they click there, they're going to get a notification is going to go from our CRM called KV Core. It's going to send out this email notice to the right. You can also set that up on text, but it's going to go out to you and notify you and say, hey, this person, Nick wants to know what the value of his house is specifically. So what do you think that's all about? Nick might be thinking about selling his home, right? So we want to reach out to Nick as quickly as possible, and KV Core is letting us know that we need to do that. So we're going to contact Nick and say, hey, notice you click the button online. You're trying to get a more accurate number on the value of your home. I can help you get that done. I'll just need to come by your property and take a peek. When's a good time for you? You're going to set up a listing presentation, a CMA. Now, after you schedule that, by the way, then you're going to go into your qualifying questions and find out what their purpose is. You may find out they're doing it for tax purposes or refinance or something else. To make sure you really want to go out there and you really have an opportunity to list the property. Well, I highly recommend you schedule the appointment first and then backtrack into the qualifying questions. All right, this is the eProperty Watch in our area. You may have a different name or a different program. That's why I try to give you a couple names. eProperty Watch, HomeBot. There's probably other names out there of service providers, but you should check your MLS. You may have a free service that does this. This is what their service and the MLS looks like. On the left is the email that goes out initially saying, hey, we've got some information on the value of your property. If you want to know more, click the button. If they do, they go to the website. If they click the button, there's an email here I'm showing you on the right. That's the email that now goes out to them once a month. It says, hey, here's the value of your property. It's changed. Do you want to know more about it? Click the button and they can go in and look at the report. In this program, oh, there it goes. This is what they see when they go online. They're going to see just a slightly different format. They're going to see an estimate of the value of their home, percentage of change, possibly mortgage balance. That seems to be a little inaccurate, but they're going to have some data points. And then they can go across the top and look at other information as well, including things like maps of the area. That's kind of a cool little map they have of everything that's just listed, just sold, recent contracts. They even have for rents and refinances in there. Kind of interesting. And then on the right, they even show foreclosures, which luckily we haven't had a lot of recently, but who knows, that could come back. So that's what's going on there. All right, any questions about home valuations? Cool. So that's an optional bonus. I do recommend you do this. If you can squeeze out an extra hour per month for your marketing, this is an awesome way to pick up extra listings. And as we all know, listings are the name of the game in real estate. Okay, so now we got level 1. We're going to do one more bonus here in email. So in email marketing, another thing you can do is you can send out a newsletter, an email newsletter to your folks. Again, we're all just talking about the PCSY, past clients and sphere of influence. This is in addition to that market report or the listing, what they call the home valuation, the listing valuation, depending on the terminology used. Okay, so what we've done, if you're part of RAMS, is we've created a template. If you're not RAMS, that's fine. You could just create your own or use another one of the templates. Check out your CRM. But you can take our template and you can go ahead and copy it and make it your own. And then here's the key, though: send it out that marketing day, the first Wednesday of every month, that morning. I really recommend you consolidate all of your efforts on marketing into one day of the month, get it done, knocked out. And again, it should only take about 1 to 3 hours total, and you're completely on track for anything that goes beyond the automation. And the way you can do it so quickly is you're using templates. And that's what you do here. You would clone the template into a new one for the month, and then you would start making some modifications. The information you would need in our example that I'm going to show you in a minute is you're going to want some fast stats. So you go to the MLS and you push their fast stats report, which takes all of about 1 to 2 minutes. And you're going to get a bunch of data points. You're going to update the newsletter stats. Again, I'll show you a picture in a minute. You also would update any properties with just listed, just sold, or just bought, and remove any unused sections. When you're going to see it in a second, you may say, I don't have any listings, Michael. I don't have any buyers right now. Cool. Remember, you can always use we instead of I. So if you're not personally doing any of these things, you can use your team, you can use your company, you can use your broker listings. You can use we instead of I. Just make sure that you're following whatever rules you need to do in your area to do that. All right, we've got also the last thing you'll do on our little template you're going to see is you're going to change the headline. And I'm sorry, I just had this thing pop up here. I'm not sure why. I'm going to move it out of the way so it doesn't get into our recording. Okay, so you're going to be able to change the headline. I do a teaser headline, which is pretty cool, and it's basically most expensive house. Well, you can change that to most expensive condo. You can do cheapest house or cheapest condo. Those 4 variations get you through 4 months. So it looks a little different each time it goes out. You'll understand more about that in a second. And then once you get that template put together, which our template only takes about 5 minutes to throw together once you're ready to roll. Once you get in there and you get used to it, you're going to send a test email to yourself first to proofread to make sure that all the autofills happen the way you wanted. So make sure to do that test email before you do your bulk email. So then you're going to schedule a bulk email, though, after you've done your proofreading. You're going to send it out to your sphere and your closed. And we recommend you schedule it for the 15th of the month. Okay, that way it's kind of offsetting anything you were doing at the beginning of the month. And there you go. You got another email piece. This should take about less than 1 hour a month, but I'll give you up to 1 hour. Here's an example of our template. It's very simple, very clean, and very easy to put together. So you'll notice at the top, it has the teaser for the subject line, and it says, hey, see inside our most expensive house for sale in Metro Denver. I'm here in Metro Denver. I think most people are going to open that, okay, because that's like the lifestyles of the rich and famous. Everybody wants to know what the most expensive house is in the area. And I think that's why it's such a grabber, and it works so well. You could also do, as I mentioned earlier, you could change that to cheapest house for sale. A lot of people are going to want to know what that is. People love to know what the extremes are. And if you are in an area that does condos, you could do a lot of condos, or you could most expensive condo, most cheapest condo. If you are in an area where it's you're out in a rural community, you could say ranch or farm or whatever. But I would just do the extreme, the most expensive and the cheapest. That's going to grab people's attention. Right at the top of this newsletter, it has your face and your contact information with your name. Like to get that out there. Again, remember relevance. We just want to get our face in front of them, even if they look at this for only 2 seconds and they close it out. At least they got to see your face again, and maybe saw your name. We have a little note to the seller, to the homeowner or to the renter, basically saying, hey, this is the newsletter. And by the way, if you're thinking about moving, be sure to give us a ring. And then we go right into our teaser, which is the most expensive home for sale. Again, just a little bit of information, a nice picture. We give some details. We give the address, but we give beds and baths. We give the price. This one's $4.5 million. People are probably gonna know, what do you get for $4.5 million? And they're gonna click that and view the listing. And then we got fast facts. This is where you're gonna get out of your sheet, your sheet from the MLS. This is a copy and paste of these 9 figures. You just copy and paste them right in here. And it looks really cool and professional. And for your analytical people, they're like, wow, okay, I see what the average price changed. I see what happened on how long it's taken to sell a home, days on the market, and sold to list price ratio. Bingo. They see the numbers today, this month, a year ago, and what the percentage change was. Right down here, they can click a button to get an evaluation of their home. If they click this button, by the way, they go back to your CRM website and they put in their address and it gives them an automated number. And we've already shown you that report. And if they decide they want more detailed information, they in that process, they can click a button and you'll be notified to reach out to them. But either way, you should know you're going to get notified that they took this action and you should follow up. Next is the blue button. It says, hey, search all the homes in the MLS for free. And so they can now go into the back of your system in your website and check out all of the properties for sale. Right here, the next 3 sections are evidence of success, either yours or your team's or your office or your company, but you should have some kind of evidence of success. So you've got, we listed another property, we sold another property, and we've helped another buyer. This is the one that people forget, is this buyer one over on the right. Oftentimes when we help a buyer, we're like, well, it's not a listing, I can't promote that. You bet you can promote it. So you just say, I just helped another family, another happy family find their dream home, right? And if you want me to help you find your dream home, let me know. And so you have a picture of them, could be in their house, could be at the closing table, could be standing in front of the house. Best if in the picture you're standing with them, but any of those work. And then at the very bottom, we have your picture with your name. Again, just as a reminder, thinking about buying or selling. But again, these are the relevant pieces. Nice thing about this template is you can pop it open. And let's say you go, look, I don't have anything listed that I want to promote or anything sold. I only have a bot. You can delete this section in half a second. The other thing that's really cool is almost all of this is auto-populated. So my picture's auto-populated, name, company, phone, contact information. This this unique property, the entire thing is auto-populated by an MLS number. So I just type in an MLS number and it populates everything. It's already done. Pretty cool. Again, I try to make everything as quick, templated, and as automated or semi-automated as possible. Anyway, that's the newsletter. Pretty awesome little piece. It's optional. You don't have to do it, but if you do, your results are going to go up. All right, so that's the end of the email section. Any questions on email before we go to social posts? Right, in other words.
Hey, Mike, I put a message in the chat. I was just trying to find out, are you having to get permission first for that most or least expensive home by putting somebody else's listing in your newsletter, or is there a workaround?
So is it Vida?
Yes.
Vida. Hey, Vida. So the question was from Vida, do you have to get permission before you use anybody else's listings? The answer is typically yes. So check with your broker and your MLS and what your rules are in your area. Believe it or not, everybody's different across the country. So it really depends on where you are. But be sure that you're complying with whatever the rules are in your area. Here's something to keep in mind. Typically, who are you getting permission from?
The broker.
The brokerage, right? Because the broker actually owns the listing in most states. Every state is different, but check your state. In most states I'm aware of, it's the broker that owns it. And so if you're in the same brokerage, you may give a courtesy call to the agent, the listing agent, or a courtesy notification, but really you wanting to get permission from the broker, right? And you'll notice, by the way, when I had my sample, it says see inside our most expensive houses for sale. So R being our company in that example I was using. That's a really good catch, by the way. So that was R. You could also do see inside the most expensive house for sale in Metro Denver. And that would be, say, if it's another company and they actually have the most expensive property, just reach out to them and ask them for permission. You're like, well, Mike, I can't get their permission, but the second most expensive one will let me do it. Cool. That's even better, because then you'll say, see inside the second most expensive house for sale in Metro Denver. Whenever you do things like that, whenever you're more accurate, it makes curiosity. People are like, second, why would you do the second? Oh, I want to see, what is that? And they're going to hop in. So does that help? All right, cool.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You betcha. Good question. Any other questions before we go on? From any other questions about email marketing or anything we've done so far? All right, good. Hopefully this is helpful. So let's keep rolling. That was a big section, email. Now we're going to go into social post. And this could be on any social medium you have, but it's typically Facebook and Instagram, but it could be others that you're using. Same concept. Up to 7% RPP, you're going to get a little bump in your RPP if you go out to social media. By the way, what we're doing here is just a quick monthly post. We're not doing like a daily post or anything. You can do that, but that's a different game. We're just trying to keep in front of people and keep relevant. All right, so what this is going to be is it's a monthly social post out on social media. And then I'm going to explain this for a second. So if you'll hang in here with me just for a second, it's going to make sense. You're going to either post something about an event or social proof or the market report, market snapshot, but not all three. It's going to be an or. So you're either going to do an event, a proof, or the market snapshot. And you're going to do them in that order. If you happen to be doing an event that month, you're going to do event, because that's going to be the most powerful thing you can do that month to reach out. If you don't have an event or you're not going to do events, cool. Go to the next one, which is proof. This is social proof, by the way. And the proof is that you are an agent, you're great, and you do awesome work, and people should work with you. And so that's why you're going to do a just listed, a just sold, or a just bought. That's the proof that you're actually in the market doing what you say you want to help them do. If for whatever reason you don't have an event, you don't have proof, then go to the default, the final one, which is a market snapshot. And anybody can do that at any time. Okay, and I'm going to show you an example of that. If you do the market snapshot, again, you go in your MLS and you get your data. For us, it's called Fast Stats and InfoSparks. You may have the same terminology or you may have a different name, but you're going to be able to pull that data out of your MLS. This is
Mike, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Regarding proof, what's your opinion of recorded past client video testimonials?
Love it.
Shot at the closing, at the settlement table.
Absolutely perfect. Sonny, that's the best thing you could absolutely do. So Sonny said, as far as social proof, how about a video of your client? Any kind of video of the client. He said at the closing table. It could be at the closing table. It could be at their new house, at their old house. It could be out in the park or the parking lot. It doesn't matter. In fact, the more real it looks, the better. And getting video, the testimonial, is the most powerful thing you could do. The beauty of getting video is that you not only have a video that you can have them watch, you can then sample out that video. So you can strip out the text and you can just write out what they said as a text message, right? You can now put that text, those words, into any document that you're putting out, any kind of marketing. Also, from that video, you could just snap out a picture off of that video. So in these social posts we're about to show you as an example, you could pop it out as a picture and do a picture with the text that they said, or you could do a video, or you could do both, right? In social media, because of the way it operates, you could do multiple times putting up the same message, just change the method that you're putting it up. Does that help, Sonny?
Very good. Good ideas. Thank you.
You bet. And I like your idea of doing video. I always love video. In any kind of testimonial, he brought up the perfect point. Any kind of testimonial you can get will outmarket anything that we talk about today, because we're just talking about core marketing. But testimonial, someone saying you're the best, beats all of it. It beats all of it. If that's all you could do was just put out your testimonials, it would work. I'll give you my favorite example. A long time ago, this is 20 plus years ago, there was an agent who wanted to prove this. He went to a listing appointment with nothing but a blank listing and contract. Okay, it was filled in, but it needed a signature. A listing contract that needed a signature, and a box of testimonial letters. That's all he had. And he had the testimonial letters and he put them down. He said, these are my happy past customers. Let's read the testimonial letters. Put one in front of the other, and they just sign. Because there's nothing better than a testimonial, right? So that's fantastic. Good question. All right, now in the social media post, we've got templates for you for events. If you're with Rams, we've got cut and paste photos and text for doing the events so that it's super fast for you to get it out. We'll go more into events in a bit. Then proof or market snapshot. You can use any, in our case, EXP Market Center. We have the just listed, just sold, and the market snapshot. If you're with a different company, you probably have something similar, or you can find information out there as well. And again, if you're with us, then here are the templates that we're using for ours. We're just grabbing the template inside of EXP, and we're entering the text that we show you how to modify. But those are the three templates I like the best for this. You're going to do this the first Wednesday of every month. Again, that's the marketing day. We talked about that before, and it should take you about 30 minutes a month to knock out your social media post. Here are some examples. So we have an event we call the Valentine's Day Kissing Photo Contest. Pretty simple event to run. By the way, the events that we run, we do 4 a year that we recommend. They only cost about $175 per event. Pretty cheap. So when you hear the word event, don't freak out and think it's something super expensive. What we're doing here, we're just getting people involved in something fun. So in this case, they take a picture of them kissing someone, or someone in their family kissing, something that's fun and exciting for them. And they take a picture of that, they post it to your web page, and that's how they enter a contest to win a prize. Okay, and the prize, by the way, is going to be a drawing for a gift card, either $100 for first place, $50 for second place, or $25 for third place. That's your expense, your $175. Okay, we've got just sold. Yep, go ahead.
You said with this, they would post it to your web page or your social media, like Facebook.
Yeah, let me clarify. It's a good question, Sonny. What I recommend is you actually do that in a Facebook group. You set up a private Facebook group for your people. It's free. And then you invite your sphere to that Facebook group. Okay, and then from there, they can participate in your contests. Your contests and events. That idea I got from Jim Burns down in Louisiana, and trying to remember Jim's production numbers. They're really good. I'm thinking 80 homes a year sold, solo agent, and a big chunk, majority of it is past client. She had this idea, and I thought it was awesome. So we just kind of took her idea and spun it this direction. Good. All right. So these are the posts. These are the social posts for just sold. You can also change this to just listed. The nice thing about it is when you have one of these, if your company has it, this is in a marketing center where you just put in the MLS number and it auto populates the address and the price and the beds and the baths, and auto populates your information, your contact info. You just have to proof it. Like 60 seconds later, you're done. You have a piece that you can pop into social media. Same for a what I call a just bought, or a proof of helping a buyer. In this case, all you had to do was put in their name, the Smith family, and you did drop in their photo and a photo of the property. In this case, it's a 3 photos fold. They also have a template where it's just a single photo. Probably should have shown that because it's even easier. But you're showing again a photo of your people. That's the biggest part, and just their last name and the family. Okay. Obviously, you want to get their permission first. Tell them what you plan on doing with it. All right. Then we've got a market snapshot. Here's an example for a social post. Again, a templated version. All you have to do is drop in the date and then these 6 pieces of information that you pulled out of your reports. Oops. You pulled out of your reports like the 2901, the 7374, the 332, and et cetera. They're just the numbers. Everything else is already templated and looks great. So with 6 pieces of information dropped in, bingo, you've got yourself a piece that you can throw out on social media to show that you are an expert in real estate, the market snapshot. Could you do all 3 of these things? Sure. Could you do just listed, just sold, and just bought, and I guess 4, and the market snapshot? Yep. But we're just recommending you just do it once, make it nice and easy, and bingo, you're done. That was social media. Any questions on social media? All right, cool. All right, so now we're getting into mail, direct mail. Direct mail is an older idea, but it still works very well, especially now because people don't get as much in their mailbox anymore. You can get up to 10% RPP with this method. Again, adding it to the prior 2. These are monthly postcards that are going to be going out. Same idea as before, where you're going to first do an event if you have one. If not, you go to social proof. And if you don't have social proof, then you're going to go into the market snapshot. And you get that data from the MLS. Templates as well, same thing as before. We happen to have events. For events, we use the EXP Marketing Center. The reason we use that Marketing Center is it already has everything templated. It's very cool. It's very easy. And we can also, so we get the template, we can drop in the mailing list, and they have a service that then that also sends it out. You just stroke a check, and it's very cheap. I think it's 63 cents a postcard for the whole 9 yards, printing, labeling, the postage, and sending it out. Super cheap. And so hopefully you have something like that with your company. Check it out. They probably have something if you dig hard. All right, so here we go. We've got, this is the template that I like to use for the event. Then we got the proof, social proof or marketing snapshot, and just want to list the template that I used for those. And then we got the first Wednesday of every month, marketing day. We're going to get this set up so it's going out. And there we go. There's the cost I was mentioning before, where you can have the template, you put your mailing list in, pull it right down, and the mail out, all the work, all the labor, 63 cents. There's no way you can do it yourself cheaper. I've done a lot of mail in my life. That's an amazing cost. So very inexpensive to get that out. They're probably doing it at cost. Anyway, it takes about 30 minutes per month to get that done. Here's some examples. So here's a postcard now. Here is our event, the Valentine's Day photo kissing contest. You can see a little more detail on this card on the left on how you enter the contest, right? You take a photo of a kiss, you post it on my page to enter, and the drawing is for a door prize. And you can learn more by going to, in this case, my Facebook group. And I recommend that you name your Facebook group instead of having the numbers and letters and whatever else. And you can do that. And so mine says my name, inner circle. And then it gives a deadline for when it's going to happen. It tells them, hey, they can win a $100 gift card for a romantic dinner for 2 to Romeo's Restaurant. And then just a little thing of, hey, you're thinking about moving, give me a call. Okay. Again, so much of this is just getting your name and your face and your picture out in front of them. This gives you a fun reason to do it. And then there will be a group of people that also participate in the contest. Those become your hyper fans, right? They really like what you're doing. They're the ones that are most likely to refer you a lot. Then we've got the just listed card. So this is a property for sale, kind of a higher quality looking one. Again, really cool if you've got a company that has these templates, because all you had to do is put in an MLS number. It auto-filled this entire thing. It popped in all the photos. It popped in the address. It popped in the description. Popped in the price, the square foot. Everything got auto-populated in. My contact information was auto-populated in. My picture. All I have to do is really proof it, make sure it looks good, and send it out. The only other thing people will ask is, hey, what about the photos if I don't like them? Because of the ones that picked out of the MLS. In this case, you click on the photo and it'll show you all the ones that you had added in the MLS and lets you pick a different one. Pretty cool. And then if you had your own, you could upload them as well. All right, so then we got the just bought. So we've got this evidence of success postcard. The back is pretty clean, just says, hey, thinking about buying or selling a home, call me, and then your contact info. Again, more importantly, your face is there and your name. And then on the front of the card, you got a picture of the family, and you'd say, hey, another successful move. And then down at the bottom, the only thing you have to do is it says Mike helped, and then you'd have to put in the name of the family, in this case, Jones, and the rest is all the same. It's all templated in. It's pretty cool, pretty simple. All right, pretty awesome. And then we have the market snapshot. Same idea. You just take these 6 pieces of information out of the MLS, you autofill them. And by the way, again, in my MLS, I just click a button and I get a report that has the 6 pieces of data that I can just copy and paste over. Pretty cool. And then on this postcard, the only other thing I had to do was update. Oh, I keep trying to highlight it. It won't work because it's a picture. But this Metro Denver over here on the left, you change that, of course, to your area. Everything else is pretty simple. And by the way, you can change any of the text on here. You can change the photo. You can change anything you want after it was autofilled. It's just the autofill gives you the fastest way to get it done. Right? Okay, so that was mail. Any questions on mail? All right, we're almost to the end. We're going now to level 4, and we're talking now about call or events. It's one or the other. You can get up to 20% RPP. This is what the top of the top people are doing, the top 1%. They're doing a quarterly call or a quarterly event. You pick one, but not both. You could do both, but one is what they're doing because just they want to do the reach out. They don't want to overdo it though. So if it's a call, you can use our scripts and RAMs. We have a bunch of great scripts for reaching out to give you a reason to make that call and a quick script. The number that you want to do each day, here's a cool little trick. You take the total number of people on your list and you divide by 50 because that's the number of days in a week, working days in a quarter. And so as an example, you take, if you had a list of 200, you divide by 50 working days in that quarter. That tells you got to make 4 calls a day. So if you want to do the calls, cool. You want to know how many you got to do, it's going to be 4 a day in this example. And that's how you find out how many. We estimate it's going to take you about 10 hours a month doing it this way, about 30 minutes per day. Now, maybe you're going faster because you're getting voicemails and the like, but we'll just round it up to 30 minutes. If you decide to do events in RAMs, we have templates in MMAA, that's Mastermind Agent Academy. And you're going to, all of the nice thing about events and the reason to do them is the invitation. The event itself is fun, but only a small number of people on your list will actually do the event. However, everybody on your list is winning here because you're winning with everybody on the list because you're inviting them, and everybody likes to be invited to something. So they have a positive touch. You invited them to something cool or fun or neat, and you stayed relevant. You stayed in front of them. So it's a big win for you. And again, that's why the top agents are doing events. Because I was curious at the beginning, why are you guys doing so many events? It's because it's an easy way to reach out. All right, so you can reach out by social media, email, text, phone. There's a lot of different ways to reach out, and we have templates for all of that. We have a checklist for you to run the event. We typically like to do a contest or a giveaway because they're very low cost but high impact. And we figure it's going to take you about 10 hours per quarter to do an event. Okay, here would be an example of some scripts that we have that you use for doing your reach outs. All right, for all levels, and I'll go through this super fast, but for the people with us that are with EXP, EXP provides the CRM, KV Core, with reminders and automation, plus the Marketing Center with the templates and the mailing service. And RAMs is going to provide the plan, additional templates, artwork, text, and the coaching. We do a weekly coaching call to make sure you're running smoothly on this. You're going to find all the scripts and events and setup in your MMA account, again, Mastermind Agent Academy, and you'll look under RAMs at EXP to find that. That'll have the samples of everything you're going to need for that month to run, the photos, the videos, how to do it, etc., the text, the copy. And then again, we have that weekly RAM Zoom meeting for maximizing our PCSOI with repeating referrals. We do that Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern for 30 minutes to help you get this implemented. All right, let's go now back into the general information for this plan. So we're wrapping it up here. We're trying to bring it all together. We need to have a schedule for making sure that this happens. And what I'm going to recommend for you, and I think the simplest way to do this, instead of worrying about it every day or every week, you just focus on it for 1 to 3 hours a month on the first Wednesday of the month. Okay, why Wednesday? Because there's usually no holiday on Wednesday. If you have holidays, it's going to be on Monday or Friday, right? But the first Wednesday of every month is available. You know when it's going to happen. It's not the first day of the week, so you're not super busy with, say, offers that came in over the weekend. It just seems to be a day you can get some work done. But that morning, you're going to either spend 1, 2, or 3 hours, depending on your list and how big it is. And so let's see how that breaks out. So this is working on level 1s through 3. Email, if you're doing the first level of email, that's all automated. There's actually no time. If you set up the email, you actually don't even have to do anything for each month. Pretty cool. If you do the social media post that we recommend, probably take you 30 minutes. Put together the decide which template. We'll give you examples if you're with us, but you decide which template. You go ahead and push the button, you get it going, and you upload it into your social media. And then we've got the mail. If you do mail, that's pretty cool too, because the templates as well. You get the template, you proof it, and you go ahead in the system and click go, and it's done within 30 minutes. Pretty quick. If you decide to do the optional manual send of the listing valuations, that will add a little bit of time. This is in the email section. We figure it's going to take less than an hour. Depends on how many people you have on your list. But you're going to go ahead and send those out. Just go, yep. Send it to them. And you're basically sending it out to anybody who hasn't accepted yet. Once they've accepted, it goes out to them automatically. And then also, if you decide to do the e-newsletter, that's probably going to add about another hour. That's probably about accurate, about an hour a month for you to go through, pull up the template, decide what you want to include in the template, and then go ahead and drop in a couple little pieces of info. That template's pretty sharp. Most of it is automated. Most of it's auto-populated. And then if you decide to do level 4, you're going to have, again, that quarterly call with scripts, which is 10 hours a month. That you're going to do about 30 minutes a day. Recommend you spread that over. You could do it like one day of the week. The only problem with that is if you skip it or you miss that day, now you're loading up even more for the second week. And a lot of people end up never doing it. So it's probably smart to do it first thing in the morning and just make your quick couple of calls. As we showed you earlier, I think it was 4 calls per day if you had a list of 200. If you decide to do events, it's actually less time to do events than it is to do the phone calls because of the numbers and the way it works out, because you're going out to a group instead of individuals. And that's going to take about 10 hours per quarter. It's about an hour a day for 10 working days up to the event. Here are the events that we like to do. In case you were curious, we have a Valentine's Day photo contest that we do at the beginning of the year in February. We've already talked a little bit about that. The next thing we do is in April. We want to hit a lot of events in the early part of the year because in our market, that's when people are making a decision to enter the market. And we see that activity each year. So in April, we're going to do a spring cleaning giveaway. All the people have to do in that event is go over and click and say yes on your website, in your group website, on Facebook in this case. They go into your group and they click, they type in yes, and that's how they enter your contest, and then do a drawing. We give you all kinds of details on how to do that in RAMS, by the way. But then in the summer photo contest, that would be the next event we do in June. Notice there's 3 events at the first half of the year. We're kind of squeezing them into the first half because, again, that's when most people move. So we have a summer fun photo contest. They can take a photo of them having fun in the sun and send that over, post that up on the site to enter the contest. And then finally, we have the Pi Day giveaway, which is the most popular event of all time for all real estate agents because it's just the best bang for the buck. And that's going to happen typically right before Thanksgiving. And you are going to need an extra week to prepare for that because you have to order the pies. People always say to me, oh, I can't do pies for my 200 people on my list, Mike. It'll be too expensive. I said, yep, I get that. First of all, if you talk to people that do this event, a very small percentage of the people actually take you up on the pie. Okay, it's like 10, 20%. It's a very small percent. You can also protect yourself, though, by limiting the number of pies. So you just say, when you do the contest, you say, hey, for the first 10 people that call me, or the first 20 people that call me, you're going to get a pie, right? And then you just keep a list. And when you hit the maximum, you say, I'm sorry, I hit my maximum. I put you on the backup. And then if it turns out you only had 22, you can just do the 22. But as an example, if you do about 20 pies and say they're eight, it depends on your area, but if they're say $8 a pop or $9 a pop, you're right in that budget of $175 per event. All right, any questions on the schedule? Pretty simple when you look at it, isn't it? It's not that complicated. And that's my goal with this whole thing, is keep it super simple. Can you do other things? Yep, there's all kinds of other things to do. And I've talked to people to do all kinds of other things. This goal is to keep it as simple as possible, least amount of time involved, and the highest impact, and get the biggest results back. All right, let's talk about budget. We're wrapping it up here. So for a 200-person PCSOI list, what do you got? You got level 1 email is 0 cost. No cost there once you got your program set up. Level 2, social media is 0 cost. You're just posting out on free social media. Level 3, the mail, probably going to cost you about $180 per month for a 200-person PCSOI list. Pretty inexpensive. That's pretty good. Again, I'm pretty amazed with that. In fact, I might even be a little high. This is 63 cents. So I guess maybe I did this on the jumbo postcard, which was at 90 cents a pop. So if you do a regular size postcard, it's actually even a little cheaper than that, which is good. So we've talked about the maximum. All right, we got level 4 is the calls. There's 0 cost if you do the calls. If you do the events, we budget about $175 per event or per quarter, and that is mainly for the gift cards. The whole event is pretty free, except for the pies, and instead of gift cards, you buy pies. But we got these gift cards of $150, $25 for first, second, and third place that we're going to give out. By the way, you can do that physically. You can mail it out, or you can get them now where they're digital, and you just send them to them by email. Best to get a picture or video of you handing that out, and show social proof again on your, say, your social media. But here we go. We got the estimated max total for the year. 0 for level 1, 0 for level 2, level 3 total would be about $2160 for the year. And for level 4, if you do the events, it's about another $700, and you add that all up, it's $2860 for the year. And so in total, it's about $240 a month to play at the highest level, level 4. I got to believe that just about everybody on this call can handle a $240 a month budget to be playing at level 4. Really, it comes down to, do you have the will to do this? $240 a month and 1 to 3 hours a month. Right? That's not a huge commitment for getting a pretty big return back. Yeah. All right. What do we all have? Any questions? What do we think about this? Yeah. All right. Any questions on the plan before I close it? Close down the screen. Okay. Do a stop share. I'll bring us all back together. Thank you for being here with me. I'll give you one. I'll look over in chat, I guess. I should check that out and make sure there weren't questions that were posted on chat. If you have any questions for me, just unmute yourself and tell me what you're thinking. Someone's listings in the MLS. Okay, good. Talked about that. We got a great idea. I'm going to do a Christmas tree decoration contest on my page. Love it. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can do these contests. There's so many out there. Another one I've heard of people doing is cookies. They have a cookie recipe. I thought that was pretty cool. It's one I thought I want to go to, where they have an event where everybody brings a plate of their favorite cookie that they like to make, and they bring a recipe card for it, like on copy sheets, and you put them down side by side. Everybody cruises around the table and picks up a cookie and tries it. If you like it, you take the recipe sheet. I'm like, I would go to that. That'd be awesome. So there's a lot of cool ideas you could do pretty inexpensively. Some people will do, it takes a little more cost and time to set up, but you could do a picture with Santa. You try to do those earlier in the season though, so that you can send it out to people because they like to take that picture and put it on their Christmas card list. That'd be an example. All right, cool. Anything else? Anybody have anything else you'd like to have us review or ask before we wrap this up? Okay. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate everybody being here. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you have the greatest amount of success and luck with this. Go out there and put together your annual marketing plan. Get it all set up now so you're ready to implement it next year. Make it as easy and as simple as possible. Hope you have fantastic success with it. Keep moving forward and take care. Bye for now.
Thank you, Mike.